and welcome. This is Venue Voices, a concert of poetry. Concert because poets are the musicians of words. And I trust you won't be offended if, but rather politely applause, if I introduce us with a poem I wrote after the night of our final rehearsal, which is why I'm reading it. My name is D.D. Delaney. My numbers are 3, 5, 8, and 11. I've worked at the venue since she opened in the spring of 2007. These poets are here with me, are students. The class is acting for poets, and we've been meeting now for 1 year. So, it was getting about time to put on a show, for people to come to and hear what these students are willing to show to the world after practicing all this last year. Then, in the night, October 21st, 22nd, exactly 1 month ago, burglars raped this fragile venue, cut through our wire fences, forced locks on back doors, and laid hands on whatever they could snitch. About 2 grand's worth, I've been told, including our sodas, our candies, and chips. We decided in class we'd do a show. We'd put on a benefit show. We'd come up with some favorite pieces of ours and perform them here for y'all. We'd focus on recovering the losses instead of bemoaning our fate. We'd pitch in. We'd help out. The best way we know. We'd put on a poetry variety show. We'd ask people to pay a minimum donation, have t-shirts for sale to mark the occasion. You can have one too for a $15 fee. After the show, see one of us or me. So help the venue continue to be a place where artists and poets are free.
Yeah.
These are my classmates. Over here, barely in the light. See Jay,
Right,
Little Mighty
thank you.
Expression. Sarah Shearer. Taz. Leanne Cosby. Back there, Buddy in the corner. George Mendez, our open mic host. Yes. Found. Used to be lost, now he's found. Sexy Kitty. Rose Red. Maddie Garcia. And Betty Davis.
Betty
Let's
Davis.
hear it for them. And back in the sound booth, the one who has all the power to shut us down in the light booth and sound, Ralph Avocado.
I wonder what you think of when the lights go out. After the farewells, once the door is locked, when all that's left is the lingering hum of laughter and tears and the echoes of applause and snapping fingers, when you're all by yourself and we're all gone, I wonder if you miss us. Because our days without you pass slow like grief, grueling and arduous, only motivated by the prospect of being with you again. For so many of us, life can be so dull and colorless, but you're our favorite box of Crayola, the big box with the sharpener on the back. And every crayon that holds a place within you could create a masterpiece to rival any Renaissance reject, paintbrush pen, or magic wand. Within your walls, judgment is a dirty word. Support and compassion are your hobbies, and love Love is your favorite hymn. You are a temple full of gods and goddesses who worship one another. This stage is your altar, and we have all sacrificed so much here. We have bled. We have cried. We have laughed. We have sung. We have danced. We have gotten undressed, metaphorically and literally. We've created magic and suspended disbelief. You are the box we think outside of, the vessel through which we travel our individual paths, and these art forms are our lifelines. Visionary, veins, artistic, arteries, comedic, capillaries that pump the blood and breath through your very vascular system. You bleed into our daily lives, and we find ourselves snapping our fingers at inappropriate times. We take you with us everywhere we go, and if there's ever 2 or more of us in a room, that room becomes the venue, and you would swear there were 35 of us the way we go in when we represent for you a feeling so intense for you there are no words good enough that I could pen for you, even if I invent a few, my queen. You make me wish I'd written We Are the Champions. You make me want to climb up onto a soapbox and yell the names of all the people I love into a megaphone, but that wouldn't be fair to all those loved ones whose names I just don't know yet. Look how much you mean. Look how much you matter. You can help us change the world. Just look how much you've already changed all of us.
I am covered in excuses. Like, oops, my hand slipped in. Maybe if you weren't such a bitch, I wouldn't have had to do this. And when did I become this ditch? These houses I felt insufficient to everything I thought I knew. Since clearly, I'm to blame. And so, the walls became my home. I forgot that I could crawl or climb and just filled my cage with excuses. Clearly I'm to blame for all this pain, since that's why I came into this world. To begin with, to bear the brunt of a scapegoat's pain? Oh God, who have I become? Look what I became. As these teardrops rain on your doorstep begging to begin once again, I begin to resent your loving gaze. And the phrase that it comes with, God, when did I start to rip my own skin off? Why do I anger at love? When your words like gentle dewdrops give salve to my pain, I begin to cut into my soul. Retrace the scars my cloak canvas had already sustained. I begin to envy their pain. And so like vomit, I yell the pity cries of love's end gain. I am so filled up with the gentle hug of foreboding, tempting me into sadness and laden with, I know why the caged bird sings. Because you see, that caged bird has always been me.
All of those questions have given me quite the case of the what-if nibbles. Like, what if dandelions could run? What if your nasty face really did freeze like that? What if Kitty Corner was a cat crosswalk? What if a crosswalk was a section of street that nipped at your heels in anger? What if high heels were really a punishment for those rushing through life? What if reality was changed and redefined every time we dream? What if everyone had a box of crayons and could color their feelings seen? What if blowing bubbles revived faded giggles? What if chewing bubble gum stimulated creativity? What if they had all the cures to the scary diseases locked away already? What if human cooperation was the key to that lock? What if we are the virus? What if tomorrow was the last of its kind? What if you had the chance to atone and say goodbye? What if we could choose our own adventures and endings? What if the crescent moon that we see in the sky is really God's thumbnail as it holds the earth? What if our world is God's snow globe on a shelf of captured universes? What if natural disasters really were acts of God caused by shaking his toy to get another view? What if God was a childlike savant in a community of deities, creating and observing its art, us? What if it watched us to learn lessons and not the other way around?
This is for the 420 Pulitzer Prize winner, the Vamp Camp poet. Designing draft on stress and wishes you wore with inner demons and last goodbyes. Holding true to the belief that one day you will revolve around the sun the way the earth was meant to. You snap like you've been. She who speaks MC, you weeping willow of a woman, you make people smile. Echo laughter in hollow wombs. You quick-witted and slick-talking, you find gladness in the ratchet and the humor dry. Like the world through your eyes. All bad mistakes and good intentions, and one more times, you begin again. Take everything and nothing to heart. You. My favorite kind of hipster. You. That 80s baby with that trapped in the 90s swag. Thrift store tees and designer bags, the epitome of cool. Naturalista, still a diva. You, that duffel bag lady who missed her bus because you had too much stuff, then smiled when you thought about how if you missed one, next 15 ones coming. You, Miss New York. You, Miss New York. The Mason-Dixon never opens his Venus flytrap of a mouth, the bitch. Let Virginia eat you alive, but this isn't a poem for where you have been or where you may never get back to. This is a poem for the tattoos etched in your skin and the stories that they tell. For the whirlwind on your neck and TMP. For the praying hands that clasp a rosary. For Diane Denise. For the angel wings between your shoulder blades and the dream catcher on your spine that reminds you that anything can happen when your head is bent. This is not a poem for the men who never asked what those stories meant. Fuck the boys who have seen your stories so you can fuck the men who will read your fine print. This is for you. Let it give you some peace of mind. Comfort you like crying quiet tears in the back of a crowded room while listening to poetry over the last man that you made love to. He did not break you. This is for your hands, for the length of your fingers and the shortness of your nails, for the weed and ash embedded beneath them, for the knuckles you pop constantly, for the protruding veins from years of working and writing. This poem is not for the broken heart or worn spirit. This is a poem of acceptance. This is a poem for the mole on your butt and the time. Your 3-month-old daughter pulled down so hard on your earring that now you can wear gauges. This is for that. For how fly you is. Rocking old Bangles and Timbs. For the fact that you can rock a stage, a bus stop, and your kid's school play with the same demeanor. This is your poem. True friend poem. Do anything for your daughters, for your son poem. For the homie that looks like he needs a hug poem. This is your love poem. For the lack of tact and no regrets. This poem is not a hype man. This is not to rebuild the ego and go comatose from the accolades, depending on if they like it or not. Already you're so full of yourself. This is a poem for standing when you felt like falling and you were already down.
Yeah.
This is a poem for the spirit that wills the soul to move something. This is a poem for the days when being held is as foreign as forever and always, and no one has told you in years that you have potential, that they can help you for you, boo. Standing on a cliff of supposition and now, blaring white screen held in the palm of your hand, laughter echoing from a womb, barren and alive, barren but alive, for maintaining a vibration that sustains you, maintains you, for you, boo. 420 scribe, demon fight and tactless sweetheart, you, the second coming of Wonder Woman, something dope, like what Nikki Giovanni wrote, and they will never understand that all the while I was actually quite happy.
Dangerous. The way young kids view violence attractive, attached to it like backpacks sewn into their skin. Human nature, if you will, but she's far more advanced. A walking prototype. Her own manufacturer. Her schematics encrypted in a code more complex than the Navajos, containing characters only she can understand and convey. But out of paranoia and a fit of rage, she placed them inside of an incinerator to lay waste to any intent made by someone else to crack, cook, and serve to a select group, sunny side up, medium hard, or poached. When provoked, she scrambles the vibrations radiating from her aura in order to go undetected, and in a flash, it's over easy. Rarely does she go uncloaked, because she just loves the way she looks. Infatuated by her own presence, this woman is what hazmat suits and quarantines cannot keep at bay. But she still loves when the sky turns that faded jean blue, just that cut above the burnt orange, because it reminds her of the frailty of life and her approaching fade to black. She is an armory full of broken safeties accessed by lost and bored teenagers, tragically defective, always at the ready, shooting blindfolded for kicks, but she just can't get enough of her passion for living no matter who gets cut down, and she doesn't know how much longer she can go on like this. Zelira is her name. Unordinary. The kind of character that gets off from pointing out the traces of formaldehyde found in her cigarette smoke in hopes that she can preserve some qualities about herself that she feels will get lost in her growth.
Day after day, notice a change. Day after day, it's that feeling. Like something in your body has been moved or improved, a little bit of both, but both are unusual. Veins seem strange. They don't strike the same color when strained. My family claim it's nothing. They say your heart still beats and you breathe and you're straight, but my pen has been leaving marks on my body. Whenever I strike paper, I could feel the words in my notes better than the blind feel braille. And I've been told senses are doubled, and anyone else words more than normal. The heartache becomes severe when the real trials of one words I hear strike me like a spear. The pain, feel you. Better than I can never explain. So exhausting it drains me like the rain. See, I don't know what's gotten into me. Best pen's becoming my worst enemy. Day after day, another stitch is added. Day after day. Pen is becoming harder to let go. Sewed into my hand, attached to me like a man in a bedpan for months. It's like being born. Growing lively, becoming a pulse and a part of me. I can't have it removed. It might sever an artery. Control. I lost it. My heart used to be frostbit, but now every bit of me is warm like something's comfort. I used to live that vamp life, insomniac, naturally better than babies, when in bed with mom and dad, and was sad. That I loved the hating, but it Amazes me how it changes and fuse with me as one. I let it lead the way like ballroom dancing, enhancing my steps and rhythm. It's like my pet dog. I throw out an idea and say, go get him, train. Day after day, new symptom. Day after day. Becoming contagious, lifted, airborne, mama sky. Why you left me hanging, man? Like I couldn't find the right letter or words to tell you, so I kept writing and writing and writing. The more clever, the more exciting. I think I need a shrink to help me understand. I can't receive a transfusion because my blood type is ink. The addition is becoming aggressive. Thinking about suicide, then the pen rescues like an antidepressant. It's a rush, like an EpiPen being struck twice in my hand, and. Get rich, flaring, all bugged eyes, staring, strung out like a puppet. The heroin, my drug, my love, my hated. All gets copied on paper, it duplicates. I'm not sure if it's due to fate. Who could say? Without a car-driven new author, it's in my DNA. It changed me like Walter White, kill on sight, dead on arrival. My future's kinda odd, I killed them all, I have no rivals. I make you go the distance to see me cause I'm maniacal, but I have no chance for survival. Day. Hi. My name is John. Jordan is no longer with us. His thoughts is in the box. So I gave him a sentence. Yes. He put up a fight. It's not much of a surprise. I had him believe in my lies. Now, here lies a dead man. Cause of death. His own ink pen.
I'm going into rehab. Because I can't seem to remove these scabs from my soul. See, they range in age from new to old, and they're located in various spots like they're waiting for me to connect the dots, but my lead ran out. My inkwell is experiencing a drought. See, I can no longer bleed or shed tears, because I no longer believe in fear. Maybe, just maybe I'm wise beyond my years since the warnings seem to fall on deaf ears, so I'm going in. I'm going into hiding. Because every time I be spying a nice trim or fresh cut, sexy ass bow legs, or maybe even a little gut, a tongue that moves well or fast, and girls, you from the crib shows a nice, grabbable ass. See, I tend to fall for the brothers with the quick wit, the doubters that think I can't handle it, always got something smart to say, always thinks he's getting away with something, until the day of reckoning. So I'm going in. I'm going into seclusion. Doc says I'm suffering from a mental contusion caused by the masses of confusion presented by the delusion that they be sporting in conversation. See, they be distorting the situation, calling it love when all it is an exchange of juice and jizz. Swapping tongue and sweat, because that's as good as it gets. So, yeah, I'm going in. And I'll only come out when I find the truth. All right.
Let me start with an apology. I apologize for not being the first one to greet you when you walk through those doors.
I apologize for not seeing your facial decor, which you used to hide your true intentions. I apologize for not warning you you were about to walk into an intense verbal beating session. I figured you have learned your lesson when you saw what we did on this stage. When you saw our literary warriors be war drums through ear canals. When you came across our dragons, which you mistook for lizards, until you witnessed them spit fire, unleashing the gunpowder to end this war that you started. This is the venue 35, and we are fragile.
I'm fragile.
Wish I'd known.
I never thought I'd be so fragile.
You're not alone.
If it didn't break before it's about to.
We've been here before.
I don't ever want to change. I'm fragile. I don't ever.
My venue family, we have been underestimated. You see, our emotions may be fragile, but our will is strong. Our minds are strong. Our bonds with each other are strong. You stole our mics, but our voices have already caused vibrations to the building. The microphone just tamed it. You raided our fridge? We were fed realness at the dinner tables of the venue every Monday and Thursday. You want forgiveness? Step back into the sanctuary that you sinned in and drop $2 into this building's arms for the next 1,000 days to replace the 2,000 that you stole from us. Only then will you know the meaning of being fragile. Wish I'd known.
I never thought I'd be so fragile.
You're not alone.
If it didn't break before it's about to.
We've been here before.
I don't ever want to change. I'm fragile. I don't ever.
I was fragile until I stepped into the sounds. Being 35, you were so profound how you handled our negligence. Those who never smelled your stench just called it stank. And the bones called us home. We filled you with our torture. And still you stood so strong. Being 35, we're fragile. And you were so strong. Yes, we're fragile.
We're fragile.
Wish I'd known.
I never thought I'd be so fragile.
You're not alone.
If it didn't break before it's about to.
We've been here before.
I don't ever want to change. I'm fragile. I don't ever. Fragile. Fragile.
God is a beautiful old woman sitting on the beach with her feet in the water, waiting for your God to die. She holds a cigarette with 2 hands, is on the verge of a nervous breakdown, while the whole world kisses her. You see, after giving birth to a Christ and a Savior, she's lulled into some type of pleasant confusion, the remembering and the forgetting of her own name. This light, this shadow, has caused an eternal split in her divine mind, and now she waits. She waits for us to save her. You see, we are not God's improvisation. We are not God's postscript. We are not her infatuation. We are not some miscellaneous material gathered up by someone in heaven or hell with angel eyes. We are God's afterlife, living with the earth, freeing her from her illusions and delusions. So when you are old and beautiful, sitting on the beach with your feet in the water, waiting for your God to die, holding your last cigarette with two hands, and the fragrance of death is near. Be still and know that you are God's ecstasy. And ecstasy you shall return.
I wonder if Jesus had a wife. It would upset the Catholic Church and many a Protestant pastor too, but apocryphally, it could be true. In Philip's gospel, the disciples take offense to see their rabbi friend and Lord kissing Mary Magdalene on the mouth, as any lover would his bawd. Others speculate the same. At the least, it's worth inquiring. The reply just might be inspiring. So I went back to my friend Nora, the medium. I asked if she'd reach out to Mary Magdalene for me. I was powerfully curious and wanted to know if Jesus indeed had a wife, and if in fact it was she, the one so preserved in history and art, yet never ordained to claim Jesus' heart. What would it have been like to have shared the burden of his destiny at the center of so much strife, while never acknowledged as the love of his life?
You strain my resources.
Nora complained, but I could tell she was also intrigued.
Well, check back in another week or so, if you still feel the same way.
But I didn't get back until a month or two later, time having a way of changing the subject.
I'll sit for you now, but you must never again ask me for such a favor.
And to this I couldn't agree, so a couple more months of inaction went by when she called with a psychic message for me. She didn't know the source's name. A woman, her face obscured by a veil, said she is available to speak to the aging poet seeking fame. Oh, I could feel my face blush pink with shame. I thought I kept that part of me hidden. But of course I showed up as bidden. Nora answered the door before I could knock, welcoming me with warm hands. And we had tea in her den and comfortably talked until she said it was time to begin. And she settled into her straight-back chair, lowered her eyes, folded her hands in her lap like a bowl, and lowered her eyes as if in a prayer. Now, I expected many moments to pass before my friend would speak, but immediately she began talking in a voice not that different from her own.
You wanted to know what it was like.
Yes, are you,
I am she, the one you requested.
and were you Jesus' wife?
I was his lover for several years before we wed in Galilee. That was to protect the child before we set out for Jerusalem on the walk to his great end.
You were left with a child.
Yes, a son of 2 years. Bethalzar was his name. He never achieved historical fame. He came of age among us, the remnants of our band of fools, then fled east away from the dangers. He became a Buddhist monk, as I learned when I saw him again later after my death, as an old woman living alone in Samaria.
Wow. So you weren't with Jesus very long.
A few years only. I met him at the temple. I met many men there, but he was special. When I understood his intensity, as it fertilized my womb as no other man had ever done, I knew his greatness, his extraordinary resolve was also my true passion. It seemed he spoke often with the Creator, and we all believed in the power to evolve, to become like him, at one with the Lord, yet free souls with minds of our own. But oh, how his choices tormented me.
Why, didn't he love you? Too forward, too bold. I apologize feebly. But Nora was quiet. She seemed to be dozing. I waited long seconds before I dared speak. Fear bloomed in my breast that I'd blown it. Hello? Are you still there? Do we have a connection?
Now look, little man, you're asking some pretty big questions. If I give you the answers you're looking for, you better not mess with my husband.
Okay. I'll leave him his place in the animal, but what I mean is, was he lovable to you? Did he treat you as his equal companion?
Better than any man of his time. And I'll say no more on that subject, except to be clear in the answer you seek. Yes, Jesus had a wife, and I am she. And for now, I will say no more.
A moment passed. Nora raised her eyes, as wide as if she'd never closed them.
Well, that was weird. I could have sworn while I was watching that a veiled woman in a blue and green gown was standing by you here and talking.
And where were you?
I don't know. I disappeared.
Rewind the tape. Let's review.
Yes.
I am beginning to think I may be ill, but I'm unsure because for once I prefer not to heal, see. This weird thing happens inside whenever he gets near me. It is like flutterflies are desperately trying to soar freely, and I'm almost certain my memory is beginning to slip. I can't even recognize my own name unless it falls from his lips, and when his skin meets mine, it's like I'm on fire. I mean, what I'm trying to say is his hands are...
Live wire.
I mean, that would explain this thing with my heart. It feels like my atriums are bursting apart, and when he's away, the symptoms don't get much better. No, my mind begins racing faster than ever, and sleep will not come with them fresh on my mind as touch still lingers down the length of my spine, and I know it's your business to get the sick well. But I'm afraid if you cure me, my heart could derail. So these symptoms have sort of become vital signs, and I'm scared if they subside, I won't realize I'm alive. And my accelerated heart rate, it's actually become rhythmic. It's got me nodding my head to the beat of its tick. And I guess what I'm trying to say is he's given me real in a world of prosthetics with a force I can only define as magnetic.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. The real I gave collided with her robot on prosthetics. I mean, basically, I gave her both the red and the blue pill, and she took them both. First thing in the morning with her cup of joe, and the morning of what she used to know. Atrium's bursting apart from our love electric. A match about prolapse, remember that? It's been cured from it. No longer leaking due to the faulty flap, because to her track, my heartbeat's now matched. Sometimes it still feels synthetic. It's
So surreal.
like that weightless, no gravity detachment feeling one gets from an epic episode of Deja Vu. Truly an experience new to me, because all the other girls that I was interested in just turned out to be walking mannequins fooling me. Reeled me in with her native classy punk, stronger than pride, elegance. Memory of her own name gets blurred like the people in a crowded room whenever we share a moment. And she forgets it until I say it. Like how I forget the world's a stage until she plays it. And lately she's claimed it. And the cause be a great one. She showed me those butterflies. 8 in 1912. 39 total bloom that summer we met, and her world flipped. So in reality, it actually went from August to June. They make a global luminescence that has no controls, and it brought her a smile she ain't worn in quite a while, and oh, does it show. And related to how her touch lingers like a tattoo, shifted and skewed with every groove she traces, every word spoken like the sweetest taboo. Her love deluxe ain't ordinary, sweet like cherry pie. Her soul old like mine, bulletproof, still shining from that first diamond life, but, you know, for some reason, we still don't know how the universe made us connect, and we probably never will know. And that's cool, because maybe we don't have to, so fuck this, let's roll.
I found a place where it is okay to be me. As you walk through the doors, you are stripped of inhibitions that hold you back, and you are free. You leave behind impossible expectations and everything else that maybe used against you to separate you from the rest. On this side, we are unisex. We are colorless. No judgment pass. You can preach whatever's on your mind, and you can be whoever you choose to be. Aquí, it's like a cleansing of the spirit happens when you're on stage. Blazing the mic is your acceptance, and snaps become holy rain, baptizing your talent and welcoming you to our church. There is no feeling like hearing your name flow as George introduces you to the crowd as the venue's own. A bond that will forever unite a bunch of hearts that for a few hours a week get to be as one.
From the first time, you are marked, branded for life, whether you like it or not, defining the timeline of your existence to before and after the V. This is more than a place, this is an entity. If you were to open each one of our hearts, their interior lining is covered by it, engraved with the names of all of the artists that we have witnessed, gracing the stage, artists that have forever changed all of our feelings like only a venue artist can. Aquí, I've discovered a family that I never knew that I could have, a bunch of mirror reflections that may seem different but feel the same when you close your eyes. Regardless of language or accents, we understand. I know, for an outsider it may be hard to comprehend what this feeling is, why we stand together and like ES says, ain't nobody fucking with the team. We protect each other in moments of need. You see, this stage and these walls, they're alive within you, alive within me. This is our home. This is our venue. Aquí.
Okay, so before you recline this chair, numb my mouth and stuff it with that gauze that seems to absorb my very words, there's something I want to say to you. You are absolutely beautiful. I mean, my God, look at you. You're like an ice cream cone with arms. Sweet enough to give me cavities. You've got me looking forward to my dental visits. Dr. Konikoff's office called today to confirm my appointment for Friday, and I got excited. Who does that? Who gets excited about a trip to the dentist? Well, clearly, it's not the cleaning I'm excited about. It's the 45 minutes I get to spend with you. Practically immobile, laying flat on my back, staring up into your energetic eyes as you poke and prod at my gum line, not once noticing all the beautiful things I'd say about you, resting right there before you on the tip of my tongue, even after you adjust that overhead lamp to get a better view. Your voice sings me sonnets of proper dental hygiene with your face hidden behind a surgical mask like you're some sort of sexy dental ninja, wielding toothbrush katanas and fluoride throwing stars, judo chopping gingivitis, tiger punching black, you magnificent mouthwash warrior. Cavity creeps are no match for you. You are my sweet tooth's craving. Listerine queen. Colgate cutie. My dental floss goddess in scrubs and rubber gloves, I will fall victim to your Novocaine willingly. I get butterflies in my stomach every time I step into your office, but not for the same reason as most patients in your waiting room. You see, these flutters in my stomach, they belong to you. So while all you may hear is, what I'm really saying is, I like you. A lot. Enough to make me come out of pocket for that one extra visit a year my insurance won't cover. And it may sound inappropriate, but I'm just dying to sink my teeth into you. Leave my bite marks on your heart, more than just my dental records on your mind, and I am not just flapping my gums here, dear. I assure you. See, I know I don't know much about you, but my molars hold enough wisdom to know that you're something special, and I can no longer settle for just scheduling my next appointment.
Sometimes they surprise you. Like when a gangly gaggle of 11-year-old white girls from Christian summer camp of '92 breaks out singing in Vogue songs with 4-part harmony and feeling, not even planned. Like when a pretty man who writes pretty words says he thinks you're prettier than Lauren Graham, and you're like, damn, fuck me, Santa. Like when the slightest girl in the room spits the biggest poem, cuts your heart into with how much it hurts her to choke out those words, and you're like this, right here, these are your bones. She speaks from our bones, and you feel them quake at the whispers of daylight rising from under 1,000 run-on winters. Or like when you're 15, insomniated with grief. And all you want from 4 a.m. tree time is the hope you can't feel because the overcast is oppressing the stars, but then the clouds part, and you're like to the brim with the meaning of it all. Heavy, right? Like when you meet a man who could grip your axes with both hands, crumble the rusted, stuck shut, start you turning again, put rhyme back in rhythm. But fate has slated him a brighter sun, and he'd have to break gravity to stay in orbit of your lonely moon. His fingertips brush the ignition switch on your solar plexus as he walks past, and you hate him a little when he leaves without noticing. But you feel seasons again, in your bones, and it surprises you. Like the one stop you make, when you forget to ask for barbecue sauce with your nuggets, but you find some waiting in the bottom of the bag. Like the first time you watch a horror movie all the way through, no pause. You fall in love with the thrill and the mystery and the warped truth of human psyche without trauma. You find your nightmares so blessedly faded to black that Hollywood and closed doors and empty living room sofas can't pull your triggers anymore, and you think to yourself, shit, I might be okay after all. Like the day you get off early, and you don't need the hat and coat you clocked in with. You still have 6 hours of daylight and a full tank of gas, and you're like, seize the day, motherfuckers! Yeah. Or like that morning you woke up on the cold tiled floor. You woke up, and it surprised you.
Equality. Forms, fragmentations of illusions that we all cloud ourselves with. Or maybe I should call it smog instead, since we like to choke on our own contradictions. 9 by 9 portraits of presidential leaders grace our historic halls. However, one portrait, more dark, more dingy, more blackish than the others, tends to tilt and slant itself slightly whenever someone asks the question of, was this president elected unfairly? I chose not to vote. I chose not to play part in a game where I'm forced to play with a controller of multiple colors. And the one that always comes in my Xbox is white. The color of the puppet does not matter as long as the 535-inch short cushion ain't corrupted in the background. How can you thrust your anger at me for not wanting to be a part of this? You who votes based off of skin color. You finally stand from your seats and preach newborn nationalism when you know damn well you never stepped foot in a church until you saw someone who did or did not look like you walk through those doors. And now you ask me to pick up arms to fight in a war. Both sides are wrong, just one side's sins are more recent. The only way for us to win this war is for both sides to surrender. And I have no problem surrendering to my brothers. My brother, we are not family because of this. My sister, we are family because of this. Humanity has just forgotten where we come from. Tell me, if all our eyelids are different shades and different hues, why do we all see the same color when we close them? I hate history. History is what reminds us of all our past parental mistakes. Would you hate the Jews if you never knew the past transgressions of Christ? Would you hate the whites if you never knew the sins of slavery, which we all partook in at some point in time in history? I wish to burn these fake Bibles that only breed more dead bodies. Burn these fake Bibles that society states gives good reason to shoot and kill someone with their back faced towards you, while the only thing your face is eyeing down is their skin. I often enter my shed of tears whenever one of my brothers is unlawfully gunned down. Why is it that you only enter yours when it involves the same color? Please do not take it as though I am downplaying black struggle. I am not, I can assure you. This is not racial battery. This is not a belittled autobiography of cultural heritage. This is not black treason. My words will give reason for us to live, for us to forgive, For us to bring back that mentally blocked feeling of being naive to reality that we once knew when we were children. We saw no color as children. I'm not saying to not love your color. Be proud of your color and who you are. Your unique shade and tint, your style, your lust to love yourself. Stop being so fixated on the black and white. This world looks so much better in color.
Be helpless and dumbfounded, unable to say yes or no. And the stretcher from grace will come and gather us up. You see, we are too dull-eyed to see this beauty. And if we say we are, then we're lying. If we say no, we cannot see it, then that no will behead us and shut tight the window into our spirit. So let us not be sure of anything besides ourselves, so that miraculous beings can come running to help. Crazed and lying in a zero circle. Mute. Will finally be saying, and with such tremendous eloquence, lead us. When we finally surrender to that beauty, will be a mighty kindness.
I am freshly 4 and finally able to reach the doorknob, not yet old enough to understand chaos. I take 2 steps. You take 3, then fall to your knees. My 2 steps morph into a sprint, rocketing down the hallway. My line of sight meets your blank gaze, finds you occupying the space between coffee table and couch cushion. Remembered my father's words, Epilepsy 101, push away the tables, take away her cigarettes, watch the way her eyes move, and when she is still, you begin to speak to her. But the order of things gets lost in the jerking of limbs. Looked like your soul was trying to evacuate epidermis. Syntax unrecognizable under the dance of your muscles rejecting the body they were paired with. Pocket your smokes. Bulldoze back the coffee table, rest your head in my lap, and following the final convulsion, I ask you, when is my birthday? What is our dog's name? What month are we in today? And by the time you've answered June, you see the table's been moved. Scoop me into your lap and ask if I am okay. I only laugh thinking, what a silly thing to say. Doesn't she know cartoons run extra long on Saturdays?
Yo soy mulata, una mezcla divina, blanca, negra, india, taína de matiz, azúcar, crema. Pero soy más que un simple color, soy fuego, pureza, ardor, quemando dentro de mi ser, se asienta a su propio nivel, haciendo residencia en mis caderas, se alegra el sonido del tambor, timbales fuera de control, ¡azúcar! Celia Cruz, reflejada en mi voz. I'll say it again. Yo soy mulata. A mixture of divine, taína, black and white in a brown sugar shade. I am sweet, but make no mistake, it goes beyond the colors you get to see. It is the fire burning inside of me, layered between the rhythms cascading from my hips. It is the sound of the drums, timbales out of control. It's in the swirl I carry inside of my soul. Azúcar! In my Celia Cruz voice. I am history. I am a history that's rich. I am what you get when you add Christopher Columbus to the Caribbean board. Merengue, bachata, sabor. That's the result. Quisqueya la Bella. That's where I'm from. I am the outcome of the Spanish invasion into an indigenous world, creating our own culture from the new and the old. I am a sancocho, full of flavor and sazon, and that's a bit gumbo soup, for those of you who don't know. You see, I am a blend of the desperate cries and the strength of the caciques who fought so hard to preserve themselves. To our gumbo soup, we added extra broth in the hopes that our past sufferings won't set limits to our pride and our joy. We gave it a kick so that the next generation understands that in order to know where they're going, they must learn of the struggles of those who came first. Our history, we need to know. Being different is no shame. Things will always be hard before they become easy again. You see, some are a rainbow of color inside. But no, not I. You see, I get to wear mine with pride. It is on my skin. It is branded within my curves. It's in the shape of my nose. It's in the Arawakan influences to the Spanish language that I speak and I love. I can always adapt to where I'm at. But you see, history is written on me. I can choose to hide or I can embrace that I am an amalgamation of the past and the present, the best. I can let others stereotype me, or I can educate them, infect them with my state of being, the pride that I feel living inside of my skin. My skin, that's not only black, but it is white, it is India, it is Taína, it is the Dominican in me. Understanding who I am before I can teach. Not letting one label define me. Because I am who I am, and I will always be a mix. I am a Dominican mulata, or you can simply call me Maddie.
Make a statement for myself. Y'all got to know Maddie. Now you gotta get to know Buddy. Story's not typical, but relatable. My lyrics aren't bad, but you have to be mature to understand. Love my team. You gotta know who I am, where I come from, how I got here, and why I find myself in a world distant from my surroundings. Can't tell you where it started. I can tell you where it's leading. Can't tell you where I'm going, but I can tell you my time is coming. How I lived in the rain for 20 years and I'm just now seeing the sun. How I was born in the tunnel and still chasing for the light to this very day, cause it's been a long time coming, and I know change gon' come.
Oh, yes it is.
See, my struggles aren't greater than anyone else's, but safe to say the devil had my number, pulled my card, dialed on block day after day. Temptation is always rang in my ear. And right before I broke down, I broke my phone, so don't feel heartbroken if I'm hard to reach. Safer that way. For the both of us. You may call it stubborn, but I think it's just smart. I'm a leader like Bonaparte. I just want to help everyone like Noah with my archives. Who am I to say my words will affect you? Who am I to say I'm different or special? Who am I to say I could save anyone? I'm just here because my passion was never neglected. And for the people who know me know that you are my savior. I'm just here to help or return the favor. See, we all have our different walks of life. I was born into a fast pace. Mine was more of the jogging type. This is not to say that we aren't alike, and if we are, this would probably be something you ought to like. Swear I must have been headphones in my past life, cause I just want to be heard. And hope that what I do strike your memory like old cartoons, help you duck the bug bunnies if they're no good for you, help you get a clue on life like Scooby-Doo show you. In this race for better, you do not have to Mach 5. Don't conform to the Joneses, transform, let's revolt, Tron. My words don't have to carry on in memory of me. I just want to pass them on. Like a hot potato roll, a stone, this is all I have is the chance of redemption. Song, poetry, spoken word. See, you gotta know my story. My name isn't important. For the people who will partake, this is a portion. Beginning, introduction to what lies ahead. If you need me, I am here. If you want to reach me, I am near. I hope you feel me, because I'm sincere. And if it wasn't for y'all, well, Buddy wouldn't get it all, so thank you.
Can't just stand there and wait. I gotta do something. Dive deep inside their souls and move something I thought I had, I say. But these poems been running relays. I need to cross countries. I need to move boulders off from shoulders and bruise something, prove something, fear nothing. I'm not scared. Just never been here before. Staring out at an audience like ocean while my feet stay planted to the floor like a shore, like I'm in a marriage with these poems and the stage is my paramour, my Sharia more. I wonder if Stevie was more afraid to see or bore, like I wonder if they listen or hear, because this here is my life, ain't no need to perform, but the stage is not mine yet. I want it, will get it. Their attention is my objective. This open mic shit is not an elective. I didn't come for the extra credit, I came to get it. Like every time I spit, my shit sends a message. I want that stage. That's why I just can't stand there and wait. I gotta do something. Dive deep inside their souls and move something. Give me a chance and I will. We'll will them from their side conversations and LCD screens. We'll move them from the rear to the edge of their seats. We'll articulate my rage and make them crave to see the way I dream. I speak bob and weave by frost and trees. I can take Americana and make it mine. Write you lines of jazz and boogaloo, sprinkle voodoo over letters and give birth to something classical. Take these thoughts in their mind and spit you dreams in E-flat. Make you come loose like an R&B tune or go outside the margin like a hip-hop track. Letitia's wind chimes add to the melody. My words be the harmony. It feels like serendipity. Sweet. Ooh, you just touched yourself. Hell, I'm trying to touch me too. I melt my glue and put on for you. And it don't matter if they applaud or understand the riff scheme of these bars. Thrust me into your apron. I already got one on. I want on that stage. That's why I couldn't wait. I had to do something. I wrote this poem from deep inside my soul, and it moved something. I know I can do this. Write you a line that will make you want to run with me. Spit you a rhyme so that you fall in love with me. Make you remember why you put up with me. And these high soliloquies, these pieces of me telling me that this stage is complete in me, keeping me in flight.
Dear violator, you failed. When you invaded the sanctity of my peace, you thought you prevailed. When you turned down the volume of my peace, you thought I'd turn tail. But you only managed to piss me off. Why? Because you're soft. Before that, I thank you. Strengthening the bond that started to fray, I thank you. For bringing those back in who started to stray, I thank you. For reinserting substance and love in our temple. For reiterating the fact that situations like this are only dimples put in place to accent passion. Now I know you didn't get what you were after, but the truth of the matter is, gave us so much more. Now you peel the scabs of our wounds, but there's blood so deep in these floors. There's sweat that colors these walls and memories tack the seams. beans. Our hearts have been carefully extracted and they lie somewhere in the beans. Our screams are in the sheetrock and their tears shellacking our souls. You only scratched enough of the surface for our true depth to unfold. Yeah, you took our mics, but we are vociferous. You took our sounds, but we are vigorous. You stripped us bare, but we are voluptuous. You thought you cut us down, but we are voluminous. You thought that you could stop us, but we are just starting. You thought that you could halt us, but we were just pausing. Now we're standing here on this stage and we're fighting for our cause, and you failed. See, you can't stop the power of thee. We are family.
I'll be honest. When I heard that the venue had been burglarized, I was angry and devastated. No, scratch that. I was livid and hoping that they choked violently on the candy they stole. How dare they enter our sanctuary, a place of love and peace? Steal our equipment, scrounge through our drawers, and carry away anything which suited their fancy. I wanted to catch them and strangle them with the very cords they took. See, I am very territorial. They call me Little Mighty because of my sassy attitude and fierce protection of loved ones. The venue is my home. The venue is our home. I was ready to hunt, ready to know my enemy. So, I took a step back and considered the angles. Soon, I realized that anger and violence weren't what those bandits needed. They'd likely seen enough of that. Love, on the other hand, and encouragement to develop their positive attributes, maybe not so much. If they understood those, they would have used the front door on a Monday or a Thursday. So my perspective changed to more of a venue view. While I do not believe what they did was right, if they came here tonight, I would welcome them. Good evening, drop $2 in the basket and sign up on the list if you'd like to take the stage. Not literally, of course, but we'll give you 4 minutes. And if you want to watch, that's okay too. Just pick a seat. We're happy to see you. See, here, it doesn't matter where you've come from, what you've done or do, what you wear, what you have or lack, what you look like. We accept you just as you are. No need to impress or front. See, we're all equal here. Souls are shared weekly on this stage, offering up thought, art, and song. Each of us gives of ourselves, including the all-volunteer staff. It's a labor of love. We are building something important here. Every footstep through that door, every wave, hug, smile, snap, and clap of applause builds a stronger you and me. See, this little red building is alive with what society should be. Performance skills are honed here, that is true, but more importantly, we build one another up, constructing a strong community, a diverse family who will do great things, not just with their talents, but with their positive behavior and firm sense of duty and self, wherever we roam. If you must take something tonight, take that knowledge with you. Better yet, return and become something bigger than yourself. No. Don't tell me of your role in the theft. I already accept your apology. Because here, we personify love, and part of that is forgiveness. So if you'd like to atone, drop a few extra bucks in the basket.
Right.
Or go back to the tech room, return the equipment, no questions asked. Yeah, I see the doubt in your eyes. Of course we'll welcome you back. Just use the front door like the rest of us.
Team. I feel like let's flow immaculate. Chase words like the ones Buster had to catch. Dangerous and gargacious, we won't hurt you, only work you into a groove similar to the Holy Spirit. Give praise to lyric. I say on 808, I know you haven't prayed today. Lick the tip of your pen and bow your head.
When moths paw for light, moths find the only flame in the powerless night and congregate within. Moths are the lashes in my tender skin.
I fell off that pedestal my father placed me on. I was perfect. The society gave me something good. That brew. It allowed my thinking to fall askew into feeling, being you.
Yeah, I used to be pretty. Just like I used to be fat and ugly, but now I'm just chunky and spunky, and I don't need you to love me. Because I can love me all by myself. I don't need your help.
But we conversed and shared dreams, and you giggled as you realized I had admirations for your aspirations. Then we took our last sips of serendipity. We wobbled to my car like a couple of Bambis walking on ice, making it hard to stand.
Take a stand. Let focus define your shimmer. Aspire to inspire. Leave marks. Paint with actions. Don't fall prey to commercial distractions. Exist to be remembered. For that goal strive.
Because whenever hope floats, the powers that be want to capsize the ship, draft up a story and screenplay, make it a box office hit, and then profit off the shit. And what's sick is so many folks will spend all their hard-earned money on it to support the shit by taking licks from all those whips, but they ignorant as fuck don't want to listen to this.
Yes, my tongue is heavy, but my brain works at double speed, ready to spit, lighting up like a candle wick, burning pages. That's just part of my trick. I can sit here and write a rhyme, making your head spin, then translate it and make you love it, even if you don't understand a thing. Now that's my gift.
And my madness is not a breakdown, it's a
breakthrough.
So savor the silly, absorb the asinine, relish the ridiculous. Go ahead, break through, go off your rocker, go bananas, go crazy, go nuts. Speak to me in a language you made up. Lose your mind.
Stage, the stage, the stage. Now I swear it stands on its own 2 feet. Just like me. Wait. You hear that? Did that go? Sounds like Esau way of saying, hello, welcome to the venue. You're home away from home. Relax, come close. Don't be afraid to be exposed. We accept you for you and love you too.
Constant push and pull of tidal wars has stripped her of the scales she wore, revealing to herself a lady, woman, child, all in one, warrior wrapped in netting. Each night she spouted her prayers to the moon. Each sunrise left her begging for volcanoes to come and rip open the floor to give her the earth she'd been searching for, but nothing. Each dawn come, nothing.
And this light, this shadow, caused an eternal split with her divine